Welcome back, folks. Sarcasm Speaks. I'm Jared, here with Bob and Jones. Jones is in today, all the way from fabulous New Jersey. So we're back here. I was just telling, obviously, well, Dads, you were there, but I was just telling Jones, we did the combo little like housewarming and Datzgiving yesterday. And I think it was a great success, at least, I think it was a hit. The food was great. There was almost a potential problem with the turkey. Ended up not being an actual problem. But it was hairy for a few minutes there.
Yeah, I pulled the turkey and it was dark. I go, shit. This isn't gonna be edible. No way. But I think what ended up happening was the rub I used had brown sugar in it.
Oh.
It's probably just the brown sugar that burned.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because we were looking and it looked a little burnt on the outside. And me and Dats were just like, dude, we've been doing this. What is this, the fourth year that we've done it? That we fried? Third year we fried the turkey?
We do it the same way every time.
Yeah, and it's like it's always the same shit. And then for whatever reason, it looked like it was burnt. I mean, it still tasted phenomenal. And turns out it wasn't burnt.
I cut into it and it was fine.
Yeah.
And even the skin didn't taste that burnt. That's why I think it was the brown sugar that burned.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense now that I think about it.
GrillYourAssOff.com. Infidel pork rub. Use it for a turkey.
Oh, yeah. Hey, shout out to GrillYourAssOff.com. Use our promo code SarcasmPod to get 15% off your entire order. Look at that. That's like our early podcast ad drop there. We're like 2 minutes in. So go to GrillYourAssOff.com. Use our promo code SarcasmPod for 15% off your entire order. GrillYourAssOff.com is fucking amazing. We lost Jones. He'll be back at some point.
Or he won't.
Yeah, whatever. He's got some spotty Wi-Fi in the hotel that he's staying at. So, if you're watching on YouTube, you obviously just saw that he left the screen. If you're just listening, you have no idea. But he'll be back in at some point, hopefully. So we'll get there. But yeah, GrillYourAssOff.com. Awesome. The world's best seasonings. They got mugs, hats, t-shirts, all that stuff. Go over there. Again, promo code SarcasmPod for 15% off your entire order. And it's a multi-use coupon too. You can use it all the time, every time you check out. So Jones is back now. Well, he's connecting right now, I'm working on it. How's that New Jersey Wi-Fi?
Somebody didn't pay. Yeah, they don't have it here. This could be an issue.
So you're in Newark?
Trenton.
Is that
closer to Trenton? Yeah.
Is that like shitty Jersey Shore, or is that like farmland New Jersey?
Very much farmland.
Okay, cool. Because
so
I know
it takes.
No, you go ahead. We got the delay thing going. You're good.
Yeah, it takes me 45 minutes to get to work every day.
Oh, sick.
It's like maybe, yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome. It's like maybe 30 miles. There's fairly no hotels in the general area of base.
Yeah, because the one thing I know about New Jersey is it's literally either the dog shit like Jersey Shore, like shitty area, or it's farms, like middle of nowhere. Because I've been to northwest New Jersey on the Pennsylvania border, and it was just like, where are we? This is New Jersey. So
yeah, it sucks. It doesn't smell as bad though, which is a good thing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You got to pick your smells, right? So if you go in the city, it smells like, people shit and just bad shit. And then if you go in like the farmland, well, now it smells like horse shit and cow shit. So it's like all of New Jersey smells. You just have to pick your smells.
Right. I'd much rather have the cow shit than the actual like human shit and toxic waste dump.
Yeah, I think I'd probably pick the cow shit over that too.
Jones, you still call your father and rip the Cowboys every time they lose?
Yeah, I'm about to. Right. Oh wow, they fucking suck, huh?
Yeah, it's not good.
Jesus.
Dak just threw a ball right to the fucking D-back.
So are the Chiefs back now? Like, time they figured their shit out. I like just got home a little while ago, so I haven't been able to see any of this game.
I mean, mildly. I don't think they are going to be able to win a Super Bowl with their god awful defense. I mean, I know as I'm saying that, we're looking at the game where Dallas is the number one offense in the league, and they've only scored like 9 points. I think that has more to do with them being fucking retarded than the Chiefs actually having a good defense.
Well, the defense also never should have been as bad as it was. So it's like they're coming back to like average.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They've been better the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, the first 4-ish weeks of the season, the Chiefs literally had the 32nd ranked defense in like every fucking category.
Yeah, it was awful. But
so also, can we laugh at the Bills for doing Bills things today?
Yeah, the Bills look like they're back to being the stupid fucking Bills after last week, because that last week they lost 9-6 to Jacksonville, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's a fluke. It's a bad game. Everyone has one. All teams have a bad week. Whatever. It's fine. This week they'll be back. All this shit." And then they lost 41-14.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15, something like that.
Yeah, 41-15, something like that to the Colts. That like aren't that good of a team.
Yep.
I mean, they're certainly better than Jacksonville.
And the
but
Titans just
yeah, the Titans suck.
Yeah,
but like the Titans have sucked for a while. They've just been like doing weird shit and like somehow winning games.
Well, they won a legit game against Kansas City and Buffalo. But they've also lost to the Jets and the Texans.
Yep.
I mean, I know our guy Ian's calling them frauds, which they are.
Yeah, no, they're certainly frauds. Shout out to Ian, friend of the show.
Their schedule is poor. Their schedule is very poor. They got to play, I think they got Jacksonville again, Houston again, and Miami on the schedule still.
Yeah.
So they might still end up being like a 12-win team.
Yeah. I mean, they're still frauds though.
Yes.
Like the part of this, I know most of our listeners might not listen to Ian's podcast, but shout out to the Bacon Bets podcast. He's a big stats guy, and the Tennessee like stats rankings, whatever, they're just like not good. They're what was it? Successful plays, like or whatever it is, like overall successful plays, they're ranked like 22nd or like somewhere between like 19th to 22nd, like bottom third in the NFL. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, but they're 8-2." It's like, that doesn't mean shit, because statistically they're not that good. They've had like some weird shit where they'll get like an interception at the right time, or like they'll get a good turnover, like they'll win a game like that, like weirdly, especially since Derrick Henry went down. Because at least when Henry was there, it was like, all right, we'll just give him the ball 27 times a game and let him rush for like fucking 200 yards. Like let him literally just steamroll everybody and then run play action off of that. But
Well, yeah, they look good today.
yeah, they look fucking so good. They lost to Houston, right?
Tyrod Taylor and the Houston Texans.
Yeah. Fucking
Threw
terrible.
like 4 picks too. Tannehill.
Yeah, that was bad.
So is he coming back to being a pumpkin? Being Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah,
Potentially.
I mean, he is Ryan Tannehill. There's not a lot you can do about that.
I'm going through Ian's Twitter right now to see if I can find the stat that he posted where it was like successful percentage
The
plays.
stat he likes net yards per play.
All right, so this is successful play rate. This was the thing he tweeted out. Tennessee was ranked 20th in the NFL of successful play rate. He explains what it is too. It's defined as a play is successful when it. Oh, okay. Here we go. We get ready for a popsicle headache. When it gains at least 40% of yards to go on first down, 60% of yards to go on second down, and 100% of yards to go on third or fourth down. So it's essentially like get halfway to the first down on first down, get like really fucking close on second down, or just get a first down on third and fourth down, like essentially. So that's how they define successful play rate. And the Titans are 20th in the NFL. For what it's worth, the Patriots are 11th.
Well, Patriots are also number 1 in point differential right now.
Yeah, that's true too. 123, I think. I saw, was it Evan Lazar, one of those guys, tweeted it out earlier.
Yeah. And then they're a fumble away from beating Miami.
Yep.
The 1 field goal away from beating Tampa.
Yep.
Overtime against Dallas. And they never had a chance against the Saints.
No.
So.
Yeah, I mean, just pick one. Like, just say the Miami game. Like, say they didn't fuck up and like they beat Miami. Well, now you're 8-3. Now you're tied with the Titans. You know what I mean? Like, we're only what is that technically? 1 game behind the Titans, or is that 2? Because it's
what 8
like
3 to 7 and 4.
8-3, 7 and 4. They count that as just 1 game.
That's 1 game.
Yeah. Because it's I never understand that shit. Because like they're like, oh well, they're only like a half game back because they're 1 game in the loss column, and it's like I don't understand. We're making shit up here.
So if fucking Leo, so if the so 7 and 4, so if the team was 6 and 4, they're half a game up on a 6 and 4 team because they have 1 more win.
Yeah,
but they don't have another loss. Because I think like when like the math for like a game would be if you two played head to head, what's the difference?
Right. Okay. All right. That makes a little bit more sense.
One team would get the win, one team would get the loss. That's a 1 game difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Do we know if they're going to start flexing games soon? Because I didn't realize that it's week 12 next week.
The Colts game.
That would actually be a pretty.
The Colts game is a flex game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks after the bye.
Yeah. So we got Tennessee, the Bills, bye at Colts, which is on the 9th.
Yep. And then Bills again, right?
Then Jacksonville and Miami.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So we got what? 4 So there's 6 games left, but I mean, I'm gonna dismiss Jacksonville and Miami, but they'll probably lose to one of them because of that.
Yep.
But between Tennessee, Buffalo twice, and the Colts, like you should be able to go 2-2 out of those 4 games. Like you should beat Buffalo once. You should beat Tennessee, and you should beat the Colts as well. You very easily could go 3-1. Like I think we had this discussion the last night. I vaguely remember like debating a drunk Vinny that he thinks that they're going to sweep Buffalo, and do all kinds of dumb shit. And I'm like, I don't know, like they'll probably beat Buffalo once, but again, it's one of those things where like they should. You can't say like, oh, they should, because Tennessee should have beat Indianapolis today. Like Buffalo should, or I said it backwards. Buffalo should have beat Indianapolis, and Tennessee should have beat Houston, but they didn't. You know what I mean? So you can't do that. That doesn't work in football. But like I said, if they go 2-2 out of those, that's a tough 4-game stretch over 5 weeks. I don't know. What is that? What are we looking at? 9-6?
About that.
With the last 2 games. You could potentially be looking at 11-6. Like that's a pretty good fucking year for a rookie quarterback.
With a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit
here. And I'm just
looking
at the Bills.
You go. We're delay.
Sorry, this internet is absolute trash. So the Bills actually have kind of a hard schedule going forward. They're at New Orleans, at Tampa, and against the Panthers, then you again. And then play trash for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's a harder schedule than the Patriots, right? At least on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could be looking at a division, which is wild. Even the first month or so of the year, you look like absolute trash.
Yeah. Well, like 3 weeks ago, I was arguing with Vinny again, because he was convinced they were going to win the division, and I was like, they're not going to win the fucking division. And at that point, I think they were like 5-4 or something. Like they had just won like 2 in a row or something. And Vinny's like, oh yeah, this is it. They're going to win the division. I go, no, they're not. They're not going to beat Buffalo. They're not going to win the division. And now here we are being like, oh, I don't know. They could potentially win the division.
Crazy. Absolutely.
But it's more of so here's let me throw this out there. Say the Pats end up 11-6, right? And they win the division. So the Bills are what right now? 6-4?
6-4, yep.
Say they end 10-7, right? Like say they lose to Tampa. Who else is on their schedule?
The Saints, you twice, and Saints, Panthers, and then Atlanta and New York that year.
So say they lose, so they'll lose 1 game. Then in my scenario, they'll lose 1 game to New England, right? If they split, go 1-1. So you lose 1 game to New England, they'll probably lose to Tampa, and they'll lose to either the Saints or the Panthers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like they could lose to the Saints. It just depends on how things go that day, or they could lose to the Panthers. You know what I mean? Like the Saints and the Panthers are 2 teams that are like, sometimes they show up and they look really fucking good, and then sometimes they look like garbage trash. So there's your 3 losses right there that you can find from the Bills. So say that's the case, right? Say the Pats go 11-6, Bills are 10-7, Pats win the division. Who gets more credit? Do you be like, oh, the Pats came back, won the division, or do you be like, oh no, the Bills just turned into the Bills at the end of the season?
I think you can say both can be true. But I would tend to say the Patriots actually should get more credit just because they have a rookie quarterback, and they were just the way they started out. They looked fucking awful.
That was bad. The beginning of the year was bad. at one point on this show, I think me and Dats were talking and we were like, yeah, man, there's like a very real scenario that I could see where this team only has 6 wins.
Yeah.
And now here we are. They already have 7.
They have the same amount of wins as last year when they had fucking Cam Newton as the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I actually agree with you. I would tend to think that it's more of the Patriots turning it around and going and winning the division than it is the Bills blowing it. Like you said, I think it is a little bit of both, right? Because they did kind of blow it, but also we're like still mid-season. You know, like it's not like if there were 4 weeks of the season left and the Bills went 1-3 over the last 4 weeks, then the Bills blew it, right? But here we are now where we're in week 11 and now the Pats are like, it took them 11 weeks to get there. And now if they can hold on to it and go and win, no, they won it. You know, like I give them more credit than I do the Bills turning into the Bills. So I agree with you there. I think you nailed it. We're going to have to turn into like Zolak and Beetle. Do like A, B,
C.
Actually, let's try that. So I'll go A, Dats B, Jones, you're C. Ready? A.
Ready.
B.
C.
So there's like I don't know, like maybe a second and a half delay.
Yeah, it makes sense because this internet is so fucking bad, dude. It's so fucking trash.
So outside of the internet, how's everything else been down there? Why don't we talk about shit, like important shit? Anything that you can actually say.
It's been pretty awful.
I don't know how much you can and can't say, but
yeah,
it's not not like this is a fucking, you're not on Joe Rogan right now.
Yeah. So I've been here for almost a month. I think it's gonna be a month next week. But I think like we were just about to go to Charlotte, and that Monday I get a call from Pennsylvania. So I'm trying to commission, and so that means become an officer. I'm enlisted. So I get a call from I had a few like appointments I was trying to schedule there. So I pick up the phone. It's from Pennsylvania, and it's somebody from my shop. And they're like, "Hey, you know, we've had a snafu. Somebody can't go. Do you want to go?" I'm like, not really. You know, it's New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I just had started a new job. I had other shit going on, and they're like, "All right, yeah, I understand that. I'll get back with you." So half hour goes by. They call me again. I'm like, "Hey, remember all that stuff that you said that you didn't want to go? Well, that's too bad because you're going. You need to be in Pittsburgh tomorrow morning at 8:00 for all like paperwork and all this nonsense." So I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, sorry. That's just, it is what it is." So I had to uproot my entire life in, we'll call it 8 hours, go to Pittsburgh, where I actually didn't even do anything for 2 days, and then mosey my ass to fucking here, which was like a 6.5 hour drive. When in theory, I could have just said, "Hey, I'll figure out all the stuff when I get here," because my house is 2 hours away. So instead, I had to do a fucking triangle.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome. So I get here. My boss is a fucking moron. Doesn't communicate. The people here suck. I mean, everything is just fucking miserable. I fucking hate it. I can't wait to get out of the
military. I know we were talking, and you said you had the potential out in March, and that you would, if you made officer, you'd have to like re-enlist or whatever. Has this changed your mind at all?
Yeah, right now I actually don't even want to be an officer anymore. I mean, what's money? You know, if you're not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my out would be March of 23, and that's kind of looking like the play.
Yeah.
Because this is wild.
Yeah. Oh, it's March of 23. Sorry, I thought it was March of 22.
Oh, I would have been. So I'm here until May.
Sick.
Sick, dude.
I could be just sitting here with pee stains on my rug, but no.
Just start protesting, just start pissing yourself, being like, this fucking sucks. I'm just gonna piss my pants all the time.
So there's a lot of people here from Pittsburgh that said they're fucking done after once they get back. Like they're fucking done. Just the way everything's been botched. Like people have been out here for more than a month and they haven't gotten paid yet. Like at all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when the government needs money from you, they make sure they get it. Well, on their terms too.
Right.
Yeah. But when they have to give you money, they're like, oh, yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah. Checks in the mail.
Yeah. Yeah, you should get it. You should get it in 2 to 5 weeks.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like this whole fucking and like there's other shit that I wish I could tell you, but I can't. like 90% of the shit that's happened, you would not believe that the military actually did this. Somebody like people in the military actually. Remember when I told you a few episodes ago where like people think the military is smart, or at least the Air Force is smart? Nah, dude, not even fucking close. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's absolutely.
That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, not for nothing, but like just the scenario of everything, like ushering in like refugees and all that shit. That to me, now again,
yeah,
I never claim to be the smartest guy in the world. I know nothing about military and military procedure, anything like that. But just to me, the layperson, a common retard, if you will, that screams like National Guard, right? Like, isn't that something that like the National Guard should do? Like, why activate a unit in the Air Force to do that?
Because the National Guard's driving our buses.
Yeah. The National Guard's busy driving our kids to school.
So you'll love this. Not only are reserves here, active duties here, and there's probably like 7 state National Guards people, or 7 states National Guard, just in this fucking thing.
Yeah, sick, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get all the people we can to go there and like just gum up the system, really. Because no one will communicate, I bet, right? Like people from the Air Force don't communicate with people from the National Guard, and then they want to run it one way, and then someone else wants to run it the other way, and then there's no communication probably within the branches of their own. It's probably a fucking disaster.
Oh, it is. So there's the Air National Guard, and then the Army, like that, the Army National Guard. So I mean, there's just like in my shop, there's a bunch of reserve people, Air National Guard people from, like I said, 7 different states, and I mean, it's all like they're all in like one unit. What, like no one can fucking talk to anyone. Like they just can't. Like the simplest mundane bullshit is like you just it takes a fucking mental person.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine. Like I said, my knowledge of this goes only as far as like the people I hear talk about it on podcasts that actually have the firsthand experience. Like, because they always talk about like, like Joe Rogan has had people on his podcast who have been in the CIA or whatever, and they talk about like, oh yeah, the CIA doesn't talk to the FBI. Like they might, like sometimes they might have to run like a joint operation, but like they don't communicate, they don't share information between the agencies. And then like the Army, I mean, so there's other guys too, but this is more like, when they're deployed, guys from the Army are like, yeah, we don't really communicate much with the Air Force. Like they might have like a JTAC with them, but like other than that, like there's no like, oh hey, we're thinking about doing this, what do you guys think? It's like, no, there's no collaboration between branches.
Yeah, you have the same exact mission, the same exact goal, but why the fuck would we ever want to talk to each other to actually do the same thing? I mean, I'm just a fucking retard, but I feel like that would probably work.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't try and give any too smart ideas.
Yeah, like people are still floored that I have 4 master's degrees. Like, why the fuck are you here? I'm like, right. Why the fuck am I here? I'm not saying I'm smart by any means, but like, Jesus fuck.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I didn't know that part about like the phone call where they called you first and was like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And then called you the second time and was like, "Yeah, you don't have a choice." Because I look at that as if like
Yeah,
the first time they were like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And you said no, and they're like, "Okay, cool." But then they couldn't find anybody lower than you to send instead. You know what I mean? They're just like, "Oh, we'll just send some other schmuck that's like a lower ranked, and then he'll be good." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we couldn't find anybody, so you gotta go." That's
yeah.
that's how
No,
I just imagine it in my head.
yeah, and it's like so. On top of this, like there are other like in Pittsburgh, like our unit has people like in the sandbox too. So there's legitimately no one. I think there's like 3 people left on the base for my unit.
That's pretty good.
So there's a lot of stuff getting done.
Yeah. A lot of many hats. The guy that cooks the food also has to clean the bathrooms, and hopefully he washes his hands in between.
Yeah, so it's been fun. I can't wait. I mean, the only legitimately good thing about it is that the house is 2 hours away. Because if it wasn't, I don't know, man. It'd be bad. Bad news bears.
Yeah. How often do you get to take leave?
So I have 4 days on, 2 days off.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not bad. The only thing is the 4 days I work, you're working 12 hours, which
Yeah.
blows.
Yeah.
But like that fourth day, as soon as like I'm off work, like I fuck off to the house.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's not bad. And that's huge too, that it's only 2 hours away. And, like we talked before, but it was like when you said you were getting deployed, my first thought was like, Jesus fuck, like what, and then you were like, oh, I'm going to New Jersey for the fucking refugees or whatever. And I was like, hey man, it fucking sucks, but like at least you're not going to Syria or like some stupid
Yeah,
fucking desert country. You know what I mean? Like it could have been way
yeah.
worse.
It could have been way worse. Like it's just the biggest pain in the dick of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because, like I said, like I told you, like I had a shit ton of stuff ready to go. I had a lot of plans, and fuck my plans, right?
Yeah. Now everything's on pause until May. That's fucking, that's so ridiculous. Well, it sounds like us, right? Sounds like something would have happened with one of us.
Yeah, I mean, it fits right in.
Yeah. All right. So I get this thing is actually pretty juicy. So I don't know if either of you guys heard about this. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. A couple weeks, well, no, maybe last week, actually. Um, CNN released like a huge article. I actually read the whole thing because I saw people were like talking about it and flipping out over it. But CNN posted an article. I forget what the title was. I could maybe find it, but I don't think it's that important to what I'm getting at. Like I said, it was a very lengthy article. And the gist of the article was why Kamala Harris is upset at at not Joe Biden in particular, but the Biden administration for making her feel like she doesn't really have anything to do, essentially. Like she and I don't I'm trying to remember too. I don't think there was any like direct quotes from her in it either. Like there wasn't like and Vice President Harris said she had a problem with this person who does this. You know what I mean? It was just like we have sources that say she feels some type of way. She doesn't want to do certain things, and then she feels excluded from like the whole administration as a whole, and the way people treat her staff is like shit. So it was like this massive article, right, that came out. and like I said, I read the whole thing. It took me, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to read it. Like I said, there's a lot to it. So that comes out, right? And then like very shortly after, people start blowing up on CNN and being like, well, CNN's racist. Like, how could they do that? Like it's fucking wild, dude. So they release an article in favor of Kamala Harris, right? It's painting Kamala Harris in a favorable light, and it's painting Biden and his staff in an unfavorable way. And then like the whole fucking like that like media, leftist media, just fucking turns on CNN and starts ripping them and calling them racist. But I like just kind of watching it all happen. I'm like, how does that actually make them racist? You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where it's like I don't really understand what's going on here. Let me see if I can find some of the stuff. I don't know. Have you guys heard any of that?
I heard it. I heard about that same thing too. But like at the end of the day, like I think if I'm not like doing anything as a vice president, I take that as a win. I don't have to do anything. I'm getting paid.
Yeah, right. Oh, so the actual article was titled "Inside Kamala Harris's Frustrating Start as Vice President." So it was the point of the article was tried to explain why, I guess, she hasn't really been doing much, and it put a lot of the blame on Biden's staff. So then, like I said, people turned around and started calling CNN racist.
We're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, people just miss the point all the fucking. I don't understand why.
They're just gonna like implode. Like that whole like hard, woke, liberal, whatever you want to call it. They're just gonna like out fucking stupid each other to the point where they just become an unfunctioning just disaster.
Yeah.
They already are though. I mean, they can't even get fucking the spending bill done. And we've been talking about this for like what, 3 months now, just because of Joe Manchin and that other cunt.
Yeah.
Like that party is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's yeah, and that's the hope, right? It's that you have to deal with the crazy bullshit, but the pendulum always swings back the other way, right? And you just kind of hope that it doesn't swing too far in the other direction. Like, we had it in, was it 2012 with the Tea Party? Remember those crazy fucking lunatics? Like they were essentially like the leftists of now, but like on the right back then. It was the same type of fucking bullshit people. They were just on the right. And they created the Tea Party, and now I don't even know what they have. I think they're called the Squad. Like they call themselves the Squad now, like all the crazy fucking socialist people, the leftists. And it's like, it's always going to do this. It's going to swing back and forth. But like I said, you just kind of hope that it doesn't swing too far, that things get like really fucked up.
To just exhibit like 4 billion why we need to have more than 2 parties, I think.
Yeah, no, 1000%. Like the 2-party system is so fucking stupid. But I just don't know. I don't know how you break that cycle, to be totally honest. You know what I mean? Like we can sit here, like, because a lot of people do it. A lot of people sit around and be like, oh yeah, the 2-party system's so dumb. It's fucking, I don't know why it is used, all this shit, whatever. And then you have other people that try and make the argument, well, technically it's not a 2-party system. We have multiple parties. And it's like, well, fuck off, because there's really only 2. And it's like, what can we actually do about it? You know what I mean? Like and I guess technically, someone could be a dickhead and be like, well, you have to go vote for that party, which then I could turn around and be like, I do. I voted for Joe Jorgensen in 2020, and I voted for what's his dick in 2016. What was that guy's name? The crazy fuck. The guy that told Donald Trump he was a pussy.
Hold on.
I can't remember his name. He was a libertarian, but the whole reason, and I'm on record, and I told people,
Gary Johnson.
Yeah, Gary Johnson. The only reason I voted for him was because on the campaign trail, on live fucking television, he gave this like speech and was like, yeah, I've climbed the highest peak on every continent. Like, I've been there. I've been in the fucking Congo. I've been in the Amazon. I've done all this. What has Donald Trump done? Nothing. He's a fucking pussy. And I was like, I'm voting for that guy. Like, that's literally how, like, you know, again, I'm just a common retard, but that's how you win my vote. You know, like if I hear someone be like that, I'm like, oh, dude, that guy's running for president. Fuck yeah, I'll vote for that guy. He's calling people pussies on TV.
Honestly, we should get more of that.
I think we are. I think we're gonna get there. I think Trump kind of fucked everything. And I think, I don't know. I think it was good in a way that he got in because it kind of like opened people's eyes to a lot of bullshit. Right? Because like before Trump, no one really kind of, this could be just the fact that like we were young then and didn't really give a shit about politics. But like once Trump got in, like people actually started paying attention to politics. And now there's like a lot of weird bullshit, right? People are like, why is this a law? Or like, why is there no law against insider trading in Congress? Like, like I would assume since the stock market has existed, like people in Congress have been conducting insider trading, right? Because technically it's not illegal because there's no law prohibiting it. But now, because everyone is paying attention to government shit all the time, people are like, wait a second, that doesn't smell right. Like, why do we have that? You know what I mean? So like in a way, Trump did do some good things, but like, well, I mean, outside of like he brought some positive things to the way people potentially look at politics. But then at the same time, he did a lot more damage than good. And I'm worried that he broke the system in a bad way because now people are going to be like, well, if I want to win presidency, I just have to be a bombastic asshole. And it's like, well, I mean, it might actually work, but that's probably not a good precedent to start setting.
I mean, you already see it with like Marjorie Taylor Greene and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, like fuck it, like calling it. I mean, or like just doing like crazy shit like that. I mean, that doesn't really do anything, especially now that like we're so polarized. Like we're the most polarized we've ever been, even though we've been saying that for ever.
Yeah.
This actually is that. We are. I got in an argument with my buddy the other day after the Rittenhouse trial, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, he should have a gun. Like, a 17-year-old probably shouldn't have an AR. I don't think that's a good idea." Like,
yeah.
Well, he's just being American. Like, yeah, but he's 17.
Right. Like, leave it to someone else. Like, let's, like, there's a lot of really weird shit with that. And that's fine. Like the whole outside stuff, like why was he in that situation? If people want to debate and argue over that, I'm fine, whatever. But like at this point, there is no debate about like the whole trial, like the trial itself and the findings, because he was found not guilty. So like like I said, if people want to be like, well, why was he in that position? Should he have been there? All right, fine. You can have that discussion. But if people are like, no, he was guilty of murder, and it's like, actually, he wasn't. He was found innocent in a court of law by a jury of his peers because that's how this fucking country works. So your opinion means dog shit, right? And by you going on the news and saying that, you're just being a cunt, really, is what it comes down to. And I thought that Biden actually handled it fine. I think he did a fine job when it came out, and I understand he has to say certain things to keep his side fucking appeased. But when he came out and was like, despite what, people may feel, or saying like, I am just as upset as some people, like he said something along those lines to like appeal to people's emotions. But then like the second half of his press release was, however, we must stand by the justice system in this country, and the system found a verdict, and we must accept it and move forward. We don't have to like it, but this is what it is, and like, please don't fuck shit up is essentially what he said. And I thought that was pretty good, right? Like I thought he did a good job with that. But I mean, as far as like the bombastic bullshit goes, like then you look at someone like Ron DeSantis, who's like not really Trump, like no one's Trump, but DeSantis is like he's looking to be the front runner, at least right now, for 2024 for the Republican Party. And he kind of does the same shit. He's like Trump light, right? Like he does and says wild shit, but he has more tact, right? Trump has no tact. Trump has no chill. He's got zero chill. DeSantis actually has chill. So like he can say some fucked up shit, but like do it in a way where like people don't like fucking want to kick him off of social media, essentially.
Did you see what he just did in Florida?
No.
He put in a bunch of legislation to oppose the vaccine mandates and whatever, which on the surface is like, oh, well, he's undermining the U.S. government and he's going to kill my grandmother, whatever, however you want to think about it. But all he did was he made it illegal for employers to require a vaccine or you get fired.
Right.
He says you have to offer 5 alternatives. And I think it was medical reason, religious reason. Those are easy. One was immunity from having it. I forget what all 5
like
were.
weekly testing.
Weekly testing was one.
So that's 4 right there.
And I think the 5th one was they can still choose to not get it as long as they take like the correct PPE measures or whatever.
Yeah.
It was something like that. And it's like, wow, imagine that. You just let people, like you give people an option. If
right.
you don't
let
want to
people
get it,
decide.
No big deal, but you got to be annoyed with getting this test every week.
Right.
Or, yeah, everyone can go maskless except you, and you have to get tested every week. Like, wow, imagine that.
Yeah. Imagine that being semi-reasonable. Never mind that I think Florida has the lowest case count in the country right now. Also, I know we've been on this forever, but I'm finally starting to notice other people talk about this. Like actual like mainstream people like Crystal and Saga from Breaking Points and like some of the other podcasts, whatever. People are actually starting to be like, why are we talking about cases still? Why? Like it's everyone's focusing on case number. Oh, is this many cases? Oh, this many new cases. That doesn't fucking matter because people aren't dying. So now, like I said, we were ahead of the curve because we're the smartest people in the world. But because we said that, right? Last year, probably right around this time last year, we said on an episode that somewhere around August, right? They stopped talking about deaths. They switched. It was like somewhere around August or September of 2020, I think. They stopped talking about deaths and started talking about number of new cases, And that's just been the going thing for the last year plus. And now finally other people are like, why are we doing that? Why do we still care about how many cases there are? Because people aren't dying from it. And now the vaccine mandate is almost pointless at this point, because now we have therapeutics that are coming out, right? So Pfizer, let alone the billions of dollars that they've made from the fucking vaccine, they just made billions more by making a pill that you can take once you get tested positive for COVID. And you can just take the pill and it lowers the symptoms, right? It helps you fight it off faster. So, okay, well, why would I go get the vaccine then? Because if I get it, I can just take this pill, and then instead of being sick for 7 days, maybe I'm sick for 3 days. So like, I don't need the vaccine. You know what I mean? Like it's just a whole fucking crazy thing. And come to find out, the pills are actually really fucking good, right? They're very efficacious. In all the trials that they've been doing, they actually see like legitimate results, right? I think it's something like there's an 86% reduction in hospitalizations, people that take the pill when they get it versus people that don't. So that's pretty fucking good, right? Like, you're telling me that regardless of my chances of having to go to the hospital for this being fucking infinitesimal as it is, now you're saying if I get it and take this pill, now my infinitesimal possibility is now lowered by 86%. Well, fuck yeah, give me the pill. You know what I mean? Like, why would I go get this fucking shot when I don't need it anymore? Because we have therapeutics to treat it now. And it's not just Pfizer. There's one from Merck that's out there that's probably going to get approved soon. It's already approved in Europe, because I think it's a European country, European company, sorry. But that one's ready to go. Pfizer just was bought by the US government. So it's like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? It's just ridiculous at this point, in my opinion.
Well, people have just settled so hard into their fucking opinions on the matter. And now it's like, we've got vaccines, we've got treatments. So why are people still so opinionated?
Yeah. And why are people still so like, oh, we can't be doing this stuff. It's COVID. It's a pandemic. We're still in the pandemic. Someone at work the other day was like, pandemic's not over. Are you fucking kidding me? Someone was literally like, well, the pandemic's still not over. The only reason it's not over is because dickheads like that are not letting it be over. This doesn't need to be a fucking problem anymore. We have vaccines. We have therapeutic treatments now. Like, if someone doesn't, at this point, if someone doesn't want to get the vaccine and then they also don't want to take the therapeutic and they still get it and die, I'm sorry. Hold on to your fucking pants, all right? Maybe fucking cover your ears. But if they die, oh well. Like, you've had enough opportunity to save yourself. And there's nothing, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a chance you're willing to take. Because guess what? People die. Everyone's going to fucking die at some point. You know what I mean? Like, life has risk, right? That's the whole thing. You have to live with the risk of just being alive, that you might die. And then if you live long enough to not die of something stupid, you die of old age or cancer. You know what I mean? Like, the ridiculousness of this, and people are like, well, that's so insensitive. Well, what do you want to do? Are we going to fucking hold people's hands forever now? Like, we have to bubble everything. We have to bubble wrap everything. We can't let anybody do anything dangerous anymore. You can't go outside without a mask. It's COVID. The pandemic's not over, you know? Yeah. Well, everyone now, you can walk in to a fucking store and get a vaccine like you can buy a fucking Twix bar. Like, it's fucking everywhere now. So if you want it, you can go get it. It's not like it was back in April, when you were people are trying to fucking schedule an appointment and it's like 3 weeks out, and then like maybe they'll have enough that day. You show up and they're like, oh nope, sorry, we ran out. You have to come back again in a month.
Yeah, they're like hacking the CVS system and setting alarms at the middle of the night.
Yeah. Like we don't have that shit now. Like you can fucking walk in anywhere, anytime and get it. You could get it at a fucking Stop and Shop. Like it's that readily available, right? And now we have the therapeutic treatment
in the parking lot at a Market Basket last weekend.
Yeah,
there was some like Haitian organization that literally set up in the parking lot. And if you wanted to get a shot, you could go right underneath their tent in the parking lot.
Yep,
right there.
Yep. So, like I said, you have the opportunity to go get it. If you don't want it, well, now you're about to have the opportunity to take a pill to help treat it if you do get it. That it's a 86% chance of reducing hospitalization, which is cool because at least we know what this is for, right? Because forever they were like, well, the vaccine's 95% effective. We never knew what effective at what. But at least with this COVID pill, they're like, oh, well, the pill is it's an 86% reduction of hospitalization. All right, cool. Thanks for actually giving us the real information there. So there you go, right? You don't get the shot, you don't get the pill, you get it, you die. Sorry, dude. Like, you had every opportunity.
Yet you still have jackasses like Antonio Brown trying to buy a fucking fake vaccination cards.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm not vaccinated and I'm not getting it. Like, it's just, and at this point, it's like, it's more of like a fuck you to the government type of thing. And I'm anti government overreach, right? Like, I don't think the government should be able to tell people what they can and can't do. It's for certain things, obviously. Like, you can paint, you could take that and paint it with broad strokes and make me to be like, oh, well, what about this? Like, all right, fuck off. You know what I mean at this point.
That's so punk rock.
Yeah. But now, if I did get it, I mean, I probably still wouldn't take the pill anyway, because like I said, I'm 29 years old and I'm healthy. So like my chances of getting it and dying are like 0.004%. I'll take my fucking odds. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be fine. I'll be okay. But for people that can't figure that out, right? There's no nuance. There's no like, oh, well, he's in an age bracket where, he's already at low risk, right? And he's pretty healthy. So that's going to help him too. He's not obese, no diabetes, no heart disease, no real comorbidities, right? Because that's what, the average person that dies from this has 3.7 comorbidities or something like that. So I don't have any of the comorbidities. I'm young enough where it doesn't matter. If I get it, I'll most likely be fine. But someone will look at that and be like, nope, you have to get it because the government said you have to. You're being irresponsible if you don't get it. No, fuck you. Like, that's not what this is about. And this is not what I'm doing. I'm not doing it. So it's just stupid. And now my job has a fucking mandate separate from OSHA. So I have an expiration date at my job. I have 2 months to get a new job.
So that's why you sent that snap the other day.
Yeah, well, there's more to it than that. Like I've told people, like the vaccine mandate thing is it's the cherry on top, right? It's just been a lot of things. I've been there for almost 5 years at this point, and it's like I've been in a few different roles. I started out there just to work there for a year to like get my shit together and then like move on to a different job. And now I've been there for 5 years, right? So it's cool. I like it. Obviously, I have tons of flexibility. I can do whatever, but like it's starting to wear on me. Like the kids at that school are like, it's fucking tough, dude. Like it got to the point where like the other day I came home. So I'm at the school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Tuesdays aren't that bad, but Thursdays I have a ton of fucking classes and I have the shittier kids. And Amy was like, I feel like every Thursday you come home and you're just fucking tired and you're like bitchy. And I was like, yeah, actually, I think you're right. And then I started thinking about it like, that's shitty. Like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I want to work this job that, like, because I have to do this one thing, like, it throws my whole fucking day out. Like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and I just kind of like push through. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I don't notice it. But like, for Amy to be like, hey, you're kind of a fucking dickhead when you come home on Thursdays. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, now it's affecting the other people that are around me. So like, I should probably try and do something about this. But you know, they've dicked me around in the past. There's been hints recently that they also might take away my work van. So it's a whole thing because it's a school van. So they're like, oh, we might need it to like transport kids because I don't pick kids. I don't transport the kids to and from the school. I just have it to move, like to transport kids if we do field trips or like transport kids like what I work on, like the in-home stuff. So, like I said, it's a confluence of factors there. But the vaccine thing was, like I said, it's the cherry on top.
Well, not for nothing. If you want to take my spot in New Jersey, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. Will the Air Force hire me as an independent contractor? Because I don't think I'm going to join the military.
I mean, you can. Benefits are great.
Yeah.
I did like the one good thing about like my time here is I found a group of three kids. They can't be any older than me. They think I'm John Cena or whatever.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, like it's fucking shit. I hate it. Also, like Afghanistan kids, like just don't have parents. They just go. They just run around. Like there's just no rules.
Yeah.
I mean, I know kids don't have rules anyways, but like these kids like will just go places and no like there's with no parents at all. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just like, oh, I'm going to go fucking walk in this room. Like, I'm just going to open this door, right? Because they don't get it, right? Like, if we were on like some military thing, I'd be like terrified to open doors. I'd be like, I might open the wrong door and see something that like I shouldn't see, and then I'm going to get fucking arrested. They're just like, I don't know, fuck it. What's behind this door?
It's there's so many fucking kids here. The kids probably outnumber the adults, like probably at least.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's wild. So I don't know. That's that. We'll see. I had something else. Yeah. I had something else that I wanted to get to and I forgot. I can't remember what it was. So it's gone forever. You want to start wrapping this up? It's about that time.
Yep. So my final thought is I saw this on Twitter and it was supposed to be like some motivational bullshit.
Yeah.
But if you wrote a book about your life, would anyone read it?
Yeah.
And my first reaction is I really fucking hope not.
Yeah.
Like, really, I fucking hope not.
Don't waste your time on me.
Yeah, I mean, like, what again? And I must have seen that on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, not sure. And I had spent that day arguing with a 10-year-old who's probably autistic, even though they don't say he is, over the Minnesota Golden Gophers athletic history. Because he's sitting there and he's trying to tell me that the Minnesota Golden Gophers won 24 baseball national championships. I'm like, dude, there's no way they won 24 baseball national championships. They won 24, and he just like repeats himself. Like that's like another thing he does.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, they won 24 national championships. Dude, I don't know, man. And then he's like, and football's won, I forget what he said football's won, 7 maybe?
Yeah.
Like 7, that doesn't seem right. He goes, yep, they won one in the 2000s. And this was funny. He goes, and they won the rest of them in the 1900s.
Yeah.
which is funny because when he says the 1900s, I'm thinking like the 1920s,
Same.
but we were born in the 1900s.
Yes. Yeah. This kid was probably born fucking 2010.
2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 10.
Yeah. So the 1900s to him is like a different fucking time period where it's like, I don't know, dude, it's 1996. Like that was a great year.
Yeah, 1900s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Spencer, if there's nothing else I can do, I can name you every football national champion going back to the year 2000. And actually, I can go beyond that. But I'm like, Minnesota Golden Gophers is not one. He goes, they have 7. I go, listen, dude, I don't know how many they have. I don't think they have 7, but they probably won like one in the fucking 50s and the 30s. Like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
And then I think about it. And why would anyone want to read a book about my life? Unless the book was called How to Talk Shit to Kids in High School. Or like, that's all we do. It's every day. It's the same thing. It's what uninformed opinion am I going to have to listen to today?
And how am I going to combat it?
Or I have to listen to about how these kids are out there applying to Clemson and Wake Forest and all these big schools, good schools, University of Miami, hard to get into. And then they still can't do math on a fucking barbell.
Yep.
Actually, if we're gonna write a book about my life, it would be like, how much does this bar weigh? That would
be the title.
How much does this bar weigh? All right, dude, how much you think it weighs? 40. Nope. It's 45.
Yeah.
Or if it's the hex bar, it's 20K. How much does this weigh? 45. All right, how do I get to 65? How do you think you get to 65? 5 on each side? That's just a guess.
Yeah.
This is what every day is.
Yeah.
It's a good thing fucking Peter from Office Space wasn't a strength coach. You would have fucking shoved a barbell right up his ass. So bad. I was just thinking about I do, and again, I like it's one of those things that's supposed to be like motivational, but like it's so dumb because it's like if you wrote a book, would anyone read it? No. Well,
yeah, probably not.
Then you should do more things that make your life interesting. I guess that's like kind of like the lines, like you should do more and make your life interesting. And I'm like, what more am I supposed to do? Like, I can't change. Well, I mean, like obviously you can change work, but like the hours I work doesn't allow for a lot of adventure during the week.
Right. Right.
And it's like I like to play golf, so it's like, what am I gonna do to make my life fucking interesting? And why is that the motivation? Like like how is that supposed to motivate anybody to like do anything?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, why do you need your life to be interesting? You know what? I think that's, I don't know, maybe we'll see if this leads us down a rabbit hole or not, but I think that's that's like a derivative of like the social media culture, right? Like everyone posts like all their shit on like Instagram, right? So if you just follow someone's Instagram, you think they live like this incredible life that like, oh, they do the cool shit. And like, you never see any of the bad stuff, right? No one ever posts on Instagram like, oh, I just got in a fight with my wife, or like, oh, my kid just told me he fucking hated me. You know what I mean? Like no one posts about that shit. But like, I think that's where that comes from. Like people now think that they need to live this like extravagant life in order to be like worth anything. And it's like, well, if you wrote a book about your life, would anyone read it? Probably not. But like, dude, there's like 7.5 billion people in the world. Like there's probably 7.2 billion of them lead pretty fucking boring lives. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, life isn't Instagram. Life isn't like, oh yeah, like I fucking sold my house and bought a van and now I live out of my van and I drive across the country and like I work random jobs like Nomadland. You know what I mean? Like that movie, like that's pretty interesting, but like in a country of 330 million people, there's probably like tens of thousands of people that do that. You know what I mean? Like a very small percentage of people across the country that do that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where that comes from. And like I said, I think it's the social media thing where it's like, well, if you wrote a book, would it be interesting? No, like no one would read it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing either. You know,
No,
like,
because it's like, yeah, again, it's, you know, yeah, I generally show up to work on time.
I pay all my bills. I pay my
I fulfill
taxes.
my duties. My health insurance gets drawn out of my account every month. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's just funny because there's like so much shit like that out there too. It's like it's all bullshit. Like again, like so like okay, so take someone. It's like, well, I'm gonna tell my tale of how I hiked all these mountains or something. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about you hiking mountains.
Right.
You give a fuck about you hiking mountains,
Right.
not me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like if I'm gonna read a book about someone's life, which I'm not gonna, like, they've got to be fucking interesting.
Yeah.
But usually not for the right reasons. Like I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you someone whose book I would not read someone's book about any celebrity, any politician.
No. I would potentially read a book about Vinny's life, but not written by Vinny. Like if there was like an omniscient narrator that like followed Vinny around for his whole life and like wrote the story as like the, you know what I mean? Like the narrator, I would potentially read that just because I think it's hilarious. But like, other than that, like, I don't like who the fuck, like, why would I read a book about someone's life that's like just a regular old Joe?
I feel like we would probably write a good book about our college experience.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
But also, that's probably most people, right? Like, I think that's what I'm trying to get at is like, I don't know for sure what this guy was trying to post when he said that on Twitter or whatever, but, or wherever he posted it. I'm assuming it was Twitter. But like, you're not that fucking novel. You know what I mean? Like I said before, there's 7.5 billion people in the world. You're not that special. You know what I mean? Like you're not that individualized. Like there is a very good chance that someone out there has lived a nearly identical life to you, right? Because like not only is there 7.5 billion people that are alive at this moment, there's also been people that have been alive for the last 2,000 years. And yeah, obviously someone in ancient Rome isn't going to live the same type of life that you live now, but there's a very solid chance that someone that lived, you know, from in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, maybe, and, you know, like maybe they're like 30 years older than us, they lived a very similar life to one of us. You know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know. It's just, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Like you said, like, I think it's dumb. And I think just because like,
yes, is 99.9999997 people. Percent of people are just normal people.
yeah. Yeah. And it's like, you don't have to do cool shit all the time either, you know, because then like, how do you tell what's cool? You know, like, because that's another thing, right? So like when we travel to one Patriots away game every year. Like that's a pretty cool fucking thing, right? Like I look forward to that every year. It's a fun time. If we traveled like every fucking weekend to a different state, like now it's no longer cool. Now it's like, it almost becomes like a hassle, right? It's like, oh, where am I going to go next weekend? Oh, well, I got to pick somewhere else to go. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't know. I feel like it's just it's very weird. Whoever wrote that.
I mean, by that example, it's kind of like a job at that point. If you were going to a game every weekend, it would become a chore.
Yeah. Yeah, I get, and my point too is I guess you can't do cool shit all the time. You know, and just because you're not like a super fucking interesting person doesn't make you a bad person either.
No, and then it's like if you think of someone like take like Steve-O. So if Steve-O, he probably has wrote a book, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like the reason his book would be interesting to read is because he was a fucking disaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like it's never just someone's life. Someone's life is not interesting to other people without some kind of trade-off. And it's usually like some type of hardship that they overcame, or if it's like who's the Van Wilder guy?
Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, so like say he writes a book and like just outlining all the crazy shit he did. So if you really take a step back and think about it, it's like, all right, well, these stories are entertaining, but like, dude, all you were was just like, you wrote a book about partying. Like,
sick, man.
It's not that interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
It can be entertaining, but it ain't interesting.
Right, right.
I would read the fuck out of a Dudeson's book, though.
Right, but it's because they're fucking idiots. Like,
right.
Yeah, there's got to be some like fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember. No, sorry, you go.
No, I was gonna say like they build fires in the house because it's too cold. It's like then the house burns down.
Yeah, like I can't even remember the last book I read that was like a biography. Like honestly, it might have been Hope Solo's book from like way back. Like I don't know, that could have came out like 10 years ago. But like she had a really fucked up life. Like, and that's what made it interesting. Like I don't read a ton anymore. I listen to a lot of Audible stuff now, but I go for like, I guess technically more like it's considered like self-help type books. You know what I mean? Like personal development, like those kind of things. Like I'm in it to like learn something and like get something out of it. Like I don't read biographies because I don't really give a shit.
No, because it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's a stupid exercise. It's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
I think the last biography I read, I don't even know if you would consider this a biography, was Belichick's book, The Education of a Coach. That was a billion years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. That came out a long time ago. I think I have that book.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just not that interesting. Like people aren't interested at all.
No. No. All right. Well, Jones, you got a final thought? that was an elongated final thought.
I do. So being here in New Jersey alone gives me a lot of time to do like unproductive things. So I got the new Pokemon games. I got 3 new Pokemon games, and I think I have all of them on the Switch that have actually come out with. And the newest ones are like a remastered version of something that came out like 2006 or whatever. I forgot how fucking amazing Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a Snapchat to the group. Like, what do you guys do? Matt, what are you doing on your day off? Fucking playing Pokemon with my cat.
Yeah.
Like, so I was just thinking, besides like sports games, because NCAA 06 is the greatest game we've already established this. What games from like your childhood would you still play now that you could like spend like 8 hours on?
Oh,
Easily.
Yeah, I would easily spend outside of sports games. Right? We're not counting sports games.
Yeah, no sports.
I would spend probably hours still playing GoldenEye on N64. I I was also a really big Super Smash Brothers guy. But that game, so Super Smash is literally just a multiplayer game. Like if you're by yourself, it's kind of fucking lame because it's like you versus the computer, and then it's like just what are you doing? You know what I mean?
You used to have to fight the army of Yoshis or something.
Not that I remember. Not in the N64 version.
Or a
Like
bunch
the
of
N64 version, I think was literally like there wasn't like a campaign mode.
Yeah, there was.
There was?
You fought through.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. There was because that's how you unlocked all the different characters. Because that you had to get like Ness. Ness was one of the unlocked guys. I don't know how I remember this, but I can't remember what I like had for breakfast the other day. You know what I mean? It's so weird that you can remember dumb shit. But yeah, no, definitely GoldenEye. Definitely Super Smash. I mean, I immediately just go to N64 games because that's what I usually played. But I would definitely play Pokemon, but I would have to play it on a computer. Like, didn't we found there was a website in college, right? Where we could play it
during the I played it through it during the pandemic with the Psyducks.
Yeah, because just thinking about it now, it's
I had three Psyducks and I beat the final.
Like I don't think I could do the little tiny screen, like the little tiny black and white screen, because I think we all kind of forget how small the screen actually was on a Game Boy, like the original Game Boy, or even if you had a Game Boy Color, like the screen was literally like an inch and a half by an inch and a half. Like that thing was fucking tiny. So I would play the shit out of Pokemon, but I would need a bigger screen to do it.
Like this kind of screen?
Yeah, like that's probably the smallest screen that I would go for.
Pretty.
Yeah. I don't know, Scratch. What games? You got any games?
Zelda, Smash Bros, Tony Hawk.
Oh shit, yeah, Tony Hawk was great.
Those are probably the big ones for me.
You know what else I used to really like was Banjo and Kazooie.
I was a big Crash guy. Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, so I feel like people were like one or the other. I feel like people either loved Crash Bandicoot or they loved Banjo and Kazooie.
I can't say I've ever played Banjo and Kazooie, but I was a huge Crash guy.
Yeah. That was a N64 game too. The Crash was a PlayStation, right? Yeah.
I know one thing that I could never figure out was Glover. Never figured that game out.
Oh yeah, that game was so fucking hard.
And I wasn't very good at video games either, so it's like that was rough.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other like random games.
Well, I mean, Call of Duty is an easy one, but that's because of online.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to stay away from like the newer stuff. You know what I mean?
The Mario games for like the Switch, and I also downloaded like the Super Nintendo and Nintendo stuff from before, and they have like Donkey Kong and like the original Mario Brothers and shit. The old Mario games still stand today. They're still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, Mario was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked Mario 64.
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, you know what game was fucking awesome? But again, this is a game you literally can only play with other people. Like it's dumb if you play by yourself. Was Mario Party.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
I don't think I ever played Mario.
It was a blast. It was almost like it was like a virtual like board game, but you're like moving around the board with people from Mario and you play different games and stuff. There's like mini games.
I think, yeah, okay. I think I did play that. I just couldn't remember it.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. So, all right. So then for my final thought, I will switch gears a little bit here. It's pretty should be a relatively quick one. But we were graced with phenomenal news today in the sports world. I'm not sure if you guys were aware, but Tiger Woods is back, or he's on his way back. There was a
I sent that.
video. There was a video posted of him on the range today, and swinging a club, doing all his thing. He was on the range where I would imagine probably at his fucking house, or it's his somewhere. So he's just wearing like shorts and a t-shirt, and he had one of those like Under Armour like compression sleeves like just on his right leg. Probably like he obviously released it on purpose, like it's a video, so he probably just put the sleeve on to cover up all his fucked up scars. Like I would imagine his leg probably looks like fucking mashed potatoes. So he covered it up so you can't see his actual leg. Like I said, it's just one of those sleeves. But holy shit, did the fucking social media world explode after that video.
Trent from Barstool basically coming himself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I reposted it on the podcast Instagram. It's fucking wild, right? Because we're coming up on a year. It was what, in March of last year, or this year?
I think it was February, because I think it was right after the Genesis at Riviera. So I think he was still in the courtesy car.
Yeah, it was. He was leaving the Genesis.
That's
so
February.
we're coming up on 1 year, right? And when it happened, people were like, "Well, he may never." Not only may he never fucking play golf again, we're struggling to know if he's ever going to be able to walk again. And here he is. What, from 2 to 11 is what, 9 months, and he's swinging a fucking club again.
So, like, I know he fucking really fucked his leg up, but and we said it here. We just very blatant. If he wants to play again, he'll play again. It's like,
right.
yeah, 9 months back to swinging a wedge easy. Like, he's not back on tour.
Right.
I mean, honestly, it sounds like we're right on schedule.
Yeah. I would love if his well, I don't know. Again, I go back and forth with this now that I'm about to say it, but I would love it if his first tournament back was the Masters in 2022. But then, like, you think about it, and it's like, do you really want that to be your first one? So, I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. I know. He could also play Augusta fucking left-handed with his eyes closed. Like, he's fine.
Yeah, he don't care. I also think too, because like obviously everyone defaults to him winning the Masters. I would watch out for the British Open.
Yeah.
That's one where I know it's like weather dependent and shit like that, but that's something like back in the day, like old guys won that all the time.
Yeah.
And how far you hit it doesn't really seem to matter. Or I'll rephrase.
It matters less.
Some of the people that win it aren't necessarily long hitters.
Right.
So because again, everyone always goes, "Oh, he's going to win the Masters. He's going to win the Masters." Well, it's like, okay, but like thinking realistically, probably has a better shot at the at the British Open.
Yeah.
And no one's paying attention to him there.
Exactly. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like I said, I don't know where he's clearly at the point where he can fucking swing a club and video it and put it out to the public. But I don't know where he is in his like total all around rehab process. Like, I don't know if he's able to walk a course yet. You know what I mean? Like, he may only just be able to go to the range and swing a club. So I don't know. But man, that was fucking awesome. That video created a fucking uproar on Instagram and Twitter, and it was phenomenal. people are tweeting about it. Like Phil Mickelson was sending out tweets. Like it was just cool. It was really cool. It's exciting. Obviously, we're big fucking Tiger stans, so I just wanted to throw that out there. It's cool. And I'm excited.
After like 9 months after that car crash, like I thought he was going to legitimately lose his leg.
Yeah, there was
Like,
rumors about that too.
Like he is such a fucking psychopath. Like even the fact that he's actually doing this right now.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I feel like it's like in our like lifetimes that we've actually been online, it's like him and probably Brady that are just so fucking psychotic that they need to do what like they do.
Yeah.
Or to survive almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I would throw Jordan in there too. Jordan was a fucking psycho.
Like we were young when he was in his prime.
Yeah, we caught the end of his career.
Yeah.
But it's funny though too. Like obviously we've talked about like the dominant whatever, and I don't know because I mean, we're way too young to actually get the bulk of Gretzky's career, but I've never heard of anyone being like, oh yeah, Gretzky was a psycho. He was always fucking on the ice. He was all, you know what I mean? Like I have never heard of people being like, oh yeah, his work ethic was just up there with Jordan and Brady. So it's That's like true. One of those where no one talks about it. And maybe he was, maybe it's just because hockey just really has always kind of flown under the radar. But you never hear about that. You don't know. And then it's like very few, like Tiger Woods is a fucking psychopath, as is Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. Like they only know how to do one thing.
I think it might be two because Gretzky only won 4, and those Oilers teams are fucking stacked.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That is a good point.
Yeah. I mean, I still stand by the fact that Tiger Woods is the most dominant athlete ever of any sport of all time. And I don't think anyone else is close. So there's like some people that might be close, right? So obviously, Gretzky, it's probably tough. I would put Gretzky maybe over Brady as being closer, as just like a more dominant player, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking
like just from a statistical like numbers standpoint, like Gretzky was more dominant over hockey than Brady was over football.
Yes. Because other people have come close to what Brady did in like a single season. Yeah. I don't want to say the whole body of work because that's a function of how long he's played.
Right.
But like other people have done what he's done in a season. Nobody has done what Gretzky did in a season.
Right. And I know now Brady just broke all like the records. He like the all-time whatever, but like he broke it over Drew Brees, who just retired last year. You know what I mean? So like Brady has had peers that have been doing similar things to him. Wayne Gretzky didn't have a peer. Tiger Woods didn't have a peer. Like there was no one that was like, you know what I mean? Like the closest you would get was like early 2000s VJ Singh or like Phil for a little bit. It's like there was no, but even them, like they're not peers, like Gretzky never had a peer.
All these awards he's won is fucking insane.
Yeah. And then, so the other thing that I would throw out there is a potential curveball that some people might not like. But as far as like a dominance thing, obviously for me, it's Tiger, Gretzky. And then from there, throw in Brady, Russell, whatever. But I would potentially sneak in Floyd Mayweather over them too, because he literally has never lost a boxing match in his entire life.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Or a professional boxing match, I should say. I don't know anything about, other shit, but so
I didn't realize this, but Tiger's only 45. He's still probably if he can get like right, he can still kind of fuck around for a little bit.
Yeah, he's he's got plenty of time. I mean, Phil is what, 50, 51?
Phil's 50.
Yeah.
Probably 51 now.
Yeah. So he's got time. So we'll see.
That's the thing is especially with golf, he's the best iron player we've ever seen. And that ability isn't going to go anywhere.
Right.
So he's just got to figure out how to fucking keep a driver in play and fucking, he can do it. And he's obviously also at the end of his career, he'll probably just, instead of like tinkering and trying to fix it, and like taking what was already the best swing ever and trying to change it.
Yeah.
He can probably just go, just give me something that fucking works and I'll just iron this place to death.
Yeah. So it's exciting. I'm pumped. I'm glad Tiger's back. Maybe he'll show up on the odds at mybookie.com, right? Because you guys can go to mybookie.com, use our promo code SarcasmPod when you sign up to get double your first deposit up to $1,000. So if you heard it here first, if the odds come out for the British Open next year and Tiger is on the list, might be worth a sprinkle. I don't know if he's going to be on the list. Like I said, I don't know his schedule. I don't know if he's even going to be able to, but might be worth a little sprinkle. So go to mybookie.com, use the promo code SarcasmPod, double your first deposit up to $1,000 over there. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave us a little comment. Wherever you're listening, also subscribe over there. If you use iTunes, go to the Apple's, or if you use Apple, go to the iTunes store. Leave us a review, give us 5 stars, all that stuff. The engagement helps, the natural views, the organic views. That's what I was looking for. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. And our Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. So until next time, good night, everybody.